And how about this? And this is the most disgusting one. Beyonce is going to use a surrogate so she can maintain her body. I don't believe that one. Well, here's one that's even more disgusting than that. They're adopting, but they're going to play it off like it's allegedly, you know, like they gave birth. I don't know, but I can. Okay, now you remember I was the first one to say this. And you remember, because wait, I haven't said it yet. Watch. It's gonna be an at-home water birth in the master bathroom. There are gonna be 3 people there. Beyonce, Jay-Z, and her mother, Miss Tina.
Beyonce couldn't get pregnant, not naturally. What I do know is this. Beyonce got on that stage with that fake baby bump. It was lined up with the same timing of where Kathy White would have been in her 2nd trimester. The timeline of when she delivered Blue Ivy lines up almost perfect with the timeline of when Kathy White would have delivered.
Everybody knows Jaguar been on Jay-Z's neck for a long minute now. She's been talking wild about him and Beyonce without holding back for a second. What's crazy is that after all those years of dragging them, she still hasn't been hit with a lawsuit. That alone got people side-eyeing the whole situation like maybe she knows something she shouldn't. Jaguar said all kinds of things, talking about how the Illuminati runs Hollywood and how that family, the Carters, play a huge part in it. She even claimed Jay-Z sacrificed Biggie just to take his spot, like it was some twisted trade-off. And then she hit even harder, saying Beyonce out here taking not just songs, but souls too. That's when things went off the rails. Now she's back again stirring the pot, this time accusing Beyonce of lying about her pregnancy with Blue Ivy. Yes, you heard that right. Jaguar saying Beyonce didn't even carry that baby herself, and that there was a secret surrogate the world was never supposed to know about. According to her, Beyonce made sure certain cameras were turned away, blocking angles so no real pictures could catch the truth. The talk first started way back in 2011 when Beyonce announced her pregnancy with Blue Ivy, her first child with Jay-Z. She did an interview on Sunday night with Molly Meldrum talking about motherhood and her excitement, but fans couldn't help noticing something off about that baby bump. When she went to sit down, her belly looked like it folded, flattened, squished, and bent in ways that didn't look natural at all. People watching were stunned. Some said maybe it was just the lighting or the fabric of her dress, but others, especially moms, weren't buying it. Even Wendy Williams spoke out, saying a pregnant woman that far along couldn't just bend over like that.
When I would get out of the bed and sit up at a kitchen table, I wouldn't be able to sit like that. Like I was so concerned about my back and the baby, even at 5 months, you know, I sat like this. Right?
That clip went viral and the internet lost its mind. From there, conspiracy theories started flying left and right. Some claimed Beyonce faked the whole pregnancy to outshine one of Jay-Z's other rumored baby mamas who was supposedly expecting around the same time. Others said she wanted to control the narrative, keeping her image flawless and her career untouchable. The rumors just kept growing. Even when Beyonce called all of it ridiculous, the tabloids refused to let it die down. Every new photo, every interview, every public appearance, people were zooming in, analyzing every move.
There are actually a lot of people that believe this rumor, and it's crazy. I guess there are some crazy celebrities in the world, so we get a bad rep. But to think that I would be that vain, and I respect mothers and women so much, and to be able to experience bringing a child into this world. If you're lucky and fortunate enough to experience that, I would never ever take that for granted. I mean, it's the most powerful thing you can ever do in your life.
It turned into one of the most talked about celebrity mysteries ever. And years later, folks are still debating if Blue Ivy's birth story was real or part of a carefully crafted secret. As Blue Ivy got older, people started realizing she was looking more and more like a young Beyonce, which had a lot of folks finally ready to move on from those wild rumors, at least for a while. But now, it looks like Jaguar Wright is bringing that whole controversy back to life, and she's coming in hot. She's naming names, pointing fingers, and saying straight up that Beyonce's famous baby bump was fake all along. According to Jaguar, Beyonce didn't actually carry Blue Ivy herself. She claims Beyonce allegedly hired a surrogate named Kathy White to give birth in secret. And to keep it all covered up, Jaguar says the Carters dropped a whopping $1.3 million to shut down the hospital on the day of Blue's birth. No cameras, no witnesses, no leaks, nothing. She says it all went down at Lenox Hill Hospital, where Beyonce supposedly gave birth. But when the story hit the press, the hospital wasn't having it. They publicly denied taking any kind of money from Beyonce, Jay-Z, or anyone linked to them to close off the hospital. They even said there was never a full lockdown, not even partial. Still, that didn't stop people from talking, because some patients that day said things definitely felt off. Reports started coming out from people who were actually there, claiming that security was crazy tight. Whole sections of the hospital were suddenly off limits, even to other patients and staff. Visitors couldn't move freely, and the vibe was strange. It left everyone wondering, if there was nothing to hide, why did it feel like Fort Knox in there?
We all know that Blue Ivy came from a surrogate. They shut that hospital down like a president had just been. And parents who had just had children themselves weren't even allowed to see their own kids for 24 hours because of the security that was locking that whole thing down.
$1.3 million is alleged that Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Carters, paid this hospital to have the right to have their baby there in complete secrecy and privacy.
Okay, so do we know if the surrogate was alive?
They typically turned some of the cameras off so that there was no pictures that were being taken.
Now the biggest question on everyone's mind is, who exactly is Kathy White? Turns out, Kathy wasn't just some random name floating around Hollywood. She was known in the industry as a publicist and a health and fitness expert out in LA with a little acting on the side. She'd been spotted around a few celebs, though nobody really knew how she crossed paths with Jay-Z in the first place. Apparently, they shared a mutual friend, Claudia Jordan, who's been connected to both Jay-Z and Diddy's circle. And then came the real bombshell, a leaked photo showing Jay-Z, Diddy, and Kathy White all hanging out in Las Vegas, looking real comfortable together. That's when things started heating up again. The story was reignited when former celebrity journalist Liz Crokin stepped into the mix. She claimed Kathy White originally denied having anything to do with Jay-Z when she was first questioned. But once that Vegas photo started spreading online, Kathy allegedly reached back out to her. Liz said she couldn't ignore it anymore, so she dropped a report last December with even more shocking details. And what she claimed next had people absolutely stunned. Not long after all that noise started spreading, things took a dark turn. Kathy White was found dead in her apartment from what was reported as a brain aneurysm at just 28 years old. The timing was eerie, to say the least. People close to her said she'd been perfectly healthy. No smoking, no drinking, no risky lifestyle, nothing that could have predicted something like that. And what really made people suspicious, she allegedly passed right before she was about to reveal something major, something that could have changed everything. Her friends swore Kathy was fine days before it happened, upbeat, focused, even planning a trip.
Under the impression that she was very strongly considering talking to me and telling me her story about her affair with Jay-Z. So a few days go by and I'm following up with her, I'm calling her, and I can't get a hold of her. And I believe that this went on for a few days. And it was just really weird because she always answered her work phone. I thought it was really strange that she wasn't answering her phone. She was MIA. I didn't know what the deal was. So I ended up reaching out to one of her colleagues. And when I finally got hold of one of her colleagues, they told me that she's dead. And I said, what? And she said, yes, she's dead. And I said, well, what do you mean she's dead? What happened to her? This is just a beautiful, young, seemingly healthy 28-year-old woman. I was told that she didn't have any health issues, and it was very shocking to hear. And her colleague did not know what happened to her or how she died or why she died, but all she knew is that she was dead. So obviously when I heard this, it was very troublesome and disturbing to find out that this woman who possibly was going to give me an exclusive story on her affair with one of the most powerful rappers in the world, that's very disturbing, and it certainly is very convenient for Jay-Z, isn't it, that she died.
But when the news of her sudden death broke, the streets started whispering that it was way too convenient, especially since there were already wild rumors floating around that Kathy had been pregnant with Jay-Z's baby, and that this child might actually be the same one the world now knows as Blue Ivy Carter. Jaguar Wright jumped right into that theory, saying the timing wasn't just coincidence, it was a cleanup move. She claimed people were trying to silence Kathy before she could expose something explosive. And with everything that's come out since, that claim doesn't sound so far-fetched to some fans anymore. It didn't help that this isn't the first time someone connected to Jay-Z or Diddy's circle passed away under strange circumstances. Diddy himself has long faced accusations about the mysterious death of Kim Porter, his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his children, who also died suddenly, supposedly from pneumonia, right before she was rumored to be ready to speak out about some hidden truths.
Hinting, saying,
posting, I get calls, take it down or else, so on and so forth.
But this is about Diddy, so let's be clear for everybody that doesn't know.
Diddy, who's about to, his trial's about to start. Yeah,
yes.
They're selecting a jury.
But you were on this train years ago.
Yes, many, many years ago, I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely.
The patterns got people side-eyeing the industry like never before. Fans even started digging through Beyonce's lyrics, especially her haunting track, Daughter in Heaven. Lines about a body on the ground, blood on my couture, and heaven couldn't wait for you sent the internet spiraling.
Theory, I need the lyrics for Beyonce, Daughter. Okay, let's read these lyrics. Verse 1, your body laid out on these filthy floors.
Your body laid out on these filthy floors.
Your stains on my custom couture.
Your stains on my custom couture.
Bathroom attendant let me right in. She was a big fan.
Many believe she was secretly singing about losing a child and that Kathy White might have either carried that baby or replaced it completely during the pregnancy scandal. And now, it's not just the Carters catching heat, celebrities all across Hollywood are getting exposed. Just recently, the tabloids even pushed a bizarre story claiming that Kanye West's clone had been found. People have been saying for years that the man walking around now isn't the same Kanye, that something's off, and now these so-called receipts are supposedly proving it. It's like every week the layers of Hollywood get darker and stranger, and the connections between these stories, they're starting to look way too close for comfort. Man, people online are losing their minds over this story, and the theories just keep multiplying. Some folks are straight up saying Blue Ivy looks way more like Kathy White than Beyonce ever did. One comment that blew up said, I can totally believe this, especially since they shut down the whole hospital for her. Nobody does that unless they're hiding something. That's wild, right? Another person chimed in, I always believed Beyonce used a surrogate, but I never thought it was Kathy White. Now it all adds up. Why she had an entire hospital floor to herself. And then someone else went even deeper, dropping a heavy line that had everybody clutching their phones. They wrote, wouldn't be the first time Jay-Z was connected to a woman's death. Don't forget Aaliyah. That comment alone set the internet on fire.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the Diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit. That Cassie, that's nothing. I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. It's gonna be the women that get him in the end.
Now, whether people believe these theories or not, one thing's for sure, this story just won't die. The idea that Beyonce might have used a surrogate to protect her perfect image, or even more scandalously, that she allegedly worked with Kathy White herself before tragedy struck, has fans torn. Some think it's all smoke and mirrors. Others swear it's the biggest Hollywood cover-up of the decade. So what do you think? Do you believe Beyonce's pregnancy with Blue Ivy was more complicated than it seemed? Or do you think there's something even deeper, something the world's not ready to face yet? Drop your thoughts down in the comments because this debate is getting intense. And hey, before you go, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Because the next story, it's about to get even nastier, and you definitely don't want to miss it. See you in the next one.